Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's Skill and Stability Speaker Spotlight. I am super excited to get to know more about Chandler's story. But if you ever thought, I know that I'm called to do more, I just don't know how to package this idea, this, thing that I have inside of me, I think this is going to be the conversation for you. So stay tuned with us. Just listen to this. Save it if you don't have time right now, or if you're watching on replay, make sure that you comment replay. But at Skill Stability, coming soon, actually, I think it's 69 days. I'm missing the countdown. I need to do the countdown. But at Skill Stability, we're focusing on building businesses that are strong and that are not costing us our family, our faith, our health, especially our peace of mind. I truly believe in everybody that's involved in this mission / event / movement. I think we really believe that this growth should increase impact and stability at the same time for everybody that is a business owner today. So today I want to talk to you about something that I feel like a lot of business owners underestimate, especially in the last few years. I've seen a lot of focus on content creation, but except this part, which is a book. And who better to share about this and guide us through this concept than Chandler Bolt, which I have you with me. Chandler, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. Karen, great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, you're the CEO and founder of selfpublishing.com, which is a 4-time Inc. 5000 company, if I'm not mistaken. You were in the Forbes 30 under 30 honoree, and you have been an author of how many books? 7 best-selling books now?
Yep.
Okay,
7.
Awesome. That's crazy. And you're going to be hosting a session for us at Skill with Stability called Publish, Turning Your Message into Income, Influence, and Impact. And I have so many questions for you because this topic is definitely one that I think every person coming to this event should probably at least think about, right? If you're not ready to start your book, at least think about that. So I have a few questions that I want you to guide us through, and I would love to, just get some more insights from you on this. And we're going to give him a couple of minutes to come back. There we go. I lost you for a quick second. There you go. Okay, perfect. So Chandler, let's start with some questions. Why do you feel like a book still matters today, especially in a world of podcasts, reels, short form content that's very pushed out there?
I think it's what's old is new, and what people have been saying is going to die for ages now is the best way to bring depth to your prospects, to your customers, to the people in your life. If you look at even all of the folks who are doing short form content, who are doing video content, what's the main pillar of their business or the main pillar of their content? It's their book. So whether it's a Cody Sanchez, an Alex Hormozy, a Dan Martell, a John Maxwell, really, you look at the bottom of this image, and I think you'd be hard pressed to point to more than 2 or 3 people in that row of faces that doesn't have a published book.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And so it's one of the best ways to create an impact, create an income, and to grow your business, right? Obviously, John Maxwell has built an entire business and brand off of that. I've done that. This book here has brought in about $7 million in sales over the last 12 months. So it's not just like this fun side passion project. It's something that actually moves the needle. And the theme of this event brings leverage to what you're trying to do. So you do work once, you create the book, and it helps you to scale with stability.
There you go. I love when we have that little good there. Question though, because obviously there's still a lot of opportunities for people to maybe understand this more the way, the main issue or obstacle of why people are not publishing. But what are most entrepreneurs misunderstanding when it comes to publishing? What is something that you run into all the time when you're talking to people that are just getting started into this world?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. One, they think you need a traditional publishing deal, which the traditional publishing model is just dead, and self-publishing has become the preferred option for most authors. But I think the other misconception is that it takes years to do it, and it's only something you do once you've made it. It's and the process can be a lot easier than you think. And so whether you're starting your business, whether you're scaling your business, especially if you're scaling your business, you've already written the book. You probably just didn't know it. That book is in the form of the broken record conversations that you have every single day. It's in the form of the coaching that you do, or the course that you've already created, or the SOPs that you already have internally with your company. Like, the book's already there. And that's where we come alongside people at selfpublishing.com and help extract that so we can do it in a way that adds value at scale, but also brings in leads, referrals, and sales for your business.
So let's talk a little bit more about that, because I think most people thinking about writing a book, like you're mentioning, first off, they are thinking that they're not enough, right? And so, like, I need to wait until, like, I've accomplished XYZ, which I love that you touch upon that. The second thing is they don't truly see, or they don't have clarity on how powerful this could be in accelerating their authority and getting them to the next level. Like, how powerful this could be as a tool for that. So explain to me how does this happen? And why do you think, like, just explain to me the topic of, like, accelerating this authority, and how can this book help you with that? It's not about writing it. There's a process to that I'm sure that you guide people through.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the word authority. The root word of authority is author. You can't spell the word authority without the word author. And so when you become an author, you become an authority in the mind of your prospects and customers. And so when you think about someone choosing between you and your competitors, if you introduce a book into the process, which is just some of what I'll be talking about in person at the event, when you introduce a book into the process, you start to add value at scale. You start to build authority at scale. And then now it's a no-brainer. If I'm choosing between some random person and you who's written the book on the thing, well, then I'm exponentially more likely to do business with you. So I've used books to start businesses early in my career, and create my first 5 and 6 figure businesses like super early on. And then I've used books, the first version of this book helped us grow to 7 figures. And then this version of this book helped us grow to 8 figures. And so at every step of the business journey, it's helped to unlock kind of that next level of growth and revenue.
I feel like it's very easy to see you today, especially as you're describing 7, 8 figures, like, okay, like, I'm not there, but that's not where you started. You started this when you were 19 years old. So take us back to that, because I want to, like, hear the beginning story of all of this, like all of these things that you have accomplished and helped other people accomplish. Take us back to that age, like, where you didn't have an audience, right? You didn't have any publishing experience, from what I know. So I'm really curious to see, how do you get started in this? What made you take the leap, and how do you get involved in this?
Yeah. I'm an unlikely author. I'm a C-level English student and a college dropout with ADHD. So this was not on my bucket list. It was not on my bingo card for life, was writing all these books and running a publishing company. But I think sometimes, and this, might resonate with people that are attending this event, it's like, when you've got something helpful that you want to share and you feel like would be valuable to share, you're compelled to share it. And eventually you realize that one of, if not the best ways that you can share it, is in the form of the book. And so that's what happened to me early on. Is I wrote the first book with my brother. He's a rock and roll musician. He plays in Need to Breathe, and now has Bolt Farm Tree Houses. And so we just wrote about these things that our parents taught us growing up that we thought were normal. And it was these 15 things. It was his perspective as a musician, my perspective as a business guy. And we did it for charity and just said, hey, we feel like this is going to really help people. And then that book, the book right after that, they just started taking off and growing traction. And then people started asking, how did you do this? And can you help me with it? And so then we started, coaching other people on this, and, just seeing if we could even do it. And then they started having success. And so then we said, hey, maybe we got something here. And we kept doubling down, and we kept just refining the process and improving it. And now we've published over 7,000 books. We publish about 2 to 5 books a day, which is just crazy to think about.
That is crazy.
So all day, every day, we're doing this.
About.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
That's awesome.
Honestly, my team knows more what they're talking about than I do these days, because they're the ones in the trenches doing it all day, every day.
There you go. I mean, you definitely need a team in order to grow. question. What was the name of your first book? What was the topic of your first book?
Yeah. It's called Breaking Out of a Broken System. And so the concept is, my brother and I feel like people are peddled this broken system that just doesn't work anymore. And it hasn't worked for a really long time, but it's what everyone knows. And so how do you break out of that broken system? Well, it's ordering off the menu, and it's these series of things that my parents taught us and that we just thought were normal. But then we got out in the real world, realized no one gets taught this stuff. And so how do we teach that to other people so that we can help them kind of break out of this broken system that exists?
I'm curious, as you were writing this first book, I feel like every author, I'm sure, finds a challenge with every book that you're writing as you're perfecting. I was listening to one of my favorite authors talk about this in a podcast, that at every level, he is now more aware of like, the potential of a book, but also, the opportunities that he was missing with every book release. I'm curious to what, in your first book, what did that unlock for you that you didn't expect?
Oh my gosh.
That's a loaded question.
I started making a few $1,000s a month in royalty checks. It paid the bills when I dropped out of school. There was just so many things. Things that I didn't even know existed. We have this phrase, it's because of my book. And it's just kind of what me and what some of our authors is like, oh yeah, I did this because of my book. I did this because of my book. And publishing a book's kind of like opening this door to Narnia. It's this magical world that exists for published authors that you may or may not have known about previously. And so that's what happened for me. It was start getting on podcast, which way back then I was like, what's a podcast? Yeah. That built an email list, didn't know what that is, started the business. I mean, it just started opening up all these things. And it was one of those magical kind of moments where, book royalties are one of the purest forms of passive income. And you're probably not going to get rich off of royalties from your book, but it is fun to have those checks just come in.
It can never hurt, I'm sure.
Mailbox money coming in. And so that was the big unlock early on, when you check your phone and you see, whoa, yeah, the book did $400 yesterday. That's pretty crazy. And just seeing that kind of come in, it's pretty fun.
Absolutely. Well, and it has been how many years since you started your business now?
12, 13, yeah. Something like that.
I'm sure that throughout those 12 years, because it has happened to us, like there's this thing called like your definition of success, right? Like success in the beginning meant like, wow, getting maybe to that first thousands of like copies sold or whatever revenue that you were focusing on. I'm sure that has changed. I'm curious to what is your definition of success today, and how has that changed from like that first Amazon bestseller to now?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think early on it's about survival, right? It's like success is paying the mortgage next month. Or not even a mortgage, it's paying my rent. It's like, all right, success will be not moving back in with my parents and failing at dropping out of school.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely evolved. I mean, I think when I realized that what we do truly changes lives. I mean, we facilitate one of the top 5 days in any person's life. There's, maybe when they find their faith, when they get married, when they have a kid or whatever other things. And then when they publish their book, I mean, it's one of the top days or highlights of someone's life. And so I think success is being able to run a business that makes an impact, that creates a profit for you, the shareholders, your family, all those people involved, that does good through the charitable contributions that you're able to make, because it makes a profit, that makes the lives of your employees better, that makes the lives of your customers better. Like, I think, but only if that's your purpose, right? And so that's what I feel like are God-given abilities that I have, is God said, hey, this is the highest, best use of your skill set and how you can make a difference in the world. And so success to me is maximizing those abilities and being a good steward of those abilities and doing it in the best way that I can.
Talking a little bit about the people that you've supported that have done their books, through selfpublishing.com and the stories that you've been able to tell through that. Do you remember one specific that, just like kind of like marked you, or that you just like, oh man, like, you know how we are in marketing, at least when we're talking about, you know, business and who we're doing this for, like there's this like avatar that you have and you name your avatar. And you, anytime that you're talking about like who you're helping, like you're speaking to that avatar. And the more clear that avatar is, the easier it is for you to talk about the thing that you're solving. Do you have like a story of a person, maybe a company, I don't know, like somebody that you, through your company, have helped, and that their story is still like one that you remember today?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. One that always comes to mind, this has got a special place in my heart, is we helped 8-year-old Emma Sumner write and publish her book. And her dad published a book with us. And so she saw him do that. She said, hey, I want to do that. And she did it. It's a kid's book called The Fairies of Waterfall Island. It started making these book royalty checks, thousands of dollars. She's getting a monthly allowance in her. She started speaking. She started doing all these things. It unlocked it changed the trajectory of her life, right? And just here recently, her dad said, hey, this helped her get into her dream school with some scholarships because the differentiator of the book. So kind of like that full, we're talking college now, it was that kind of that full circle iteration of that is really cool. And then I would share just one other, and this isn't so much a book that we published, but just when we had John Maxwell, who I know will be speaking at this event, we had him come in to speak at our event, and just how powerful that was, and him saying, hey, at 70 whatever years old, I'm still writing, I'm still publishing. You're never too old to do this, because we have a ton of people in our audience that are in their 50s or in their 60s, and they're compiling knowledge that they have, and in a lot of cases just saying, hey, even if no one reads this, even if just my family reads it, that's a success. Now, sure, I want to sell a bunch of copies, make a big impact with this. And so just him sharing that with our people and just seeing the tears flowing and smiling and the people lighting up the chat and everything. It was a virtual event. It was really special.
Love that. Wow. I mean, like, honestly, if you're watching this and you just heard the story, like if an 8-year-old can do a book, can publish a book, like what a better, testimonials like that this is possible. Like anybody has a story to tell. And I know that you're going to guide us on like how to go from, just like the story that you have to something that you can actually publish. And there's much more content that I just started following you on Facebook. There's so much content that you're providing there in your reels to help people navigate this concept of creating their book. So if this is something, guys, that if you're watching and this is something it's in your heart that you want to have a story to be told, that's something within you that you want to share with the world, why not? Why not spread that message and take some time to make this legacy? Because at the end of the day, like we're gonna be gone one day, but a book might be here forever, right? Isn't that how it works? Chandler, for anybody that's thinking about coming to the event that still hasn't pulled the trigger, what would you say to anybody that's thinking about coming? What should they be in this event?
I would say, what are you doing? You got to be there. I mean, are you kidding me? I am so excited to go to Arkansas. I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I don't know if I've actually been to Arkansas. I've been to just about every state. I don't know if I've been to Arkansas, except maybe driving through it on the way from South Carolina to Florida as a kid. I'm excited to get to Arkansas. There's some powerhouse companies that have been built out of that state, but just to get to a new place, I don't say yes to a lot of events. And this is one that was a no-brainer for us. And so I think if you're in that spot where you're looking at your calendar, anything like me, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got so many things going on. I got so many things booked. Like, can I really say yes to this? I would say I did. It's that meaningful to me. But then also, can you afford to say no to it? I mean, if you're tired of scaling like crazy, burning out, and all that stuff, well, you need to get in the room with people who are a couple steps ahead of you. You need to get in the room with people who can inspire you to think differently and think better. And I can't think of a time where I've done that and regretted it. And so, grab a ticket. Book the flight, get to Arkansas. I hope to see you and meet you in person. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
We're really excited. I cannot wait. We only have about less than 15 actually VIP tickets left. I know that there were some sold last week, and we're about close to like less than 70 days away. So it's they're gonna run out, out of like space for the VIP. So if you're looking to do that, make sure that you get your ticket. Mezzanine is sold out, so make sure that you get your ticket, general ticket or VIP, whatever it is. Make sure to get in the room. Chandler, so excited to see you soon and meet you very soon, and cannot wait to be with you and the team. I know that there's a lot of stories in that room that need to be told, and I'm excited that you're going to be part of that journey, I'm sure. So thank you so much for being part of this.
Karen, thank you. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Grab a ticket. Hope to see you there.
See you guys. Thank you so much.